master your spiritual practice. In this video, I'm going to give you another tip that will make it a lot easier for you to pray on time, every time, and the approach is to look at prayer as your spiritual practice. A few years ago, I had the honor to have a couple of training sessions with a master of the Wu style of Tai Chi Chuan. His name's Michael Acton. He's literally a descendant in a chain of learning Wu style Tai Chi, and he's a master of it. And by the way, if you happen to be in London, go check out, if you go to Finsbury Park, near Finsbury Park Station, there's a Tai Chi center, and it's actually run by a couple of my cousins. Wu style Tai Chi, Finsbury Park, look it up. It's a great little place, and I think a few times a week Michael Acton is one of the teachers. And my cousins are also teachers there, and they connect the dots between Tai Chi and Islamic philosophy. It's quite beautiful. Okay, so check this out. I was with Michael Acton, and my cousins who are his students and my Tai Chi teachers, I suppose, they said, "Oh, this is Mamoon. He's a coach. He's a life coach." And the teacher said, "Oh, life coach, wonderful. What's your practice? Like, what's your spiritual practice?" He's like, "Do you have a practice?" And I was taken aback a little, because you see, in Eastern philosophy, you don't just try and change your mindset. You start with the physical body, and then the energetic body, and then the emotions, and then eventually downstream from all of that is talking about your thoughts, right? Whereas in the West, we kind of have it all backwards. We talk about our thoughts all day long, and then emotions are all confused, and then we don't even know the energetic body exists, and then you end up with the physical body, which is disconnected from the mind anyway. So he asked me, "What's your practice?" And I realized upon reflection, well, my practice is salah. It is the prayer. Now, I do some jujitsu as well as a martial art, but my spiritual practice is the prayer. Now, if anybody who takes yoga seriously, or takes Tai Chi seriously, or takes any kind of potentially physical or spiritual practice seriously, they train day after day, several times a week, right? In order to get good at it. And my advice to you in this video is take your prayer as your spiritual practice. Because let's face it, if you're a Muslim, you want to do it 5 times a day, and you're probably planning on doing it 5 times a day for the rest of your life. Well, is your prayer going to be the same 10 years from now as it is today? Or are you going to intentionally aim to improve your prayer a little bit as you go on? If you take prayer as a spiritual practice, to me, it means certain things. When you go to a Tai Chi session, all of your attention is in the delicate movements that you're making. When you do yoga, the whole point is that you're as present as possible as you're doing the movements. Salah is exactly the same. It requires and demands that you be fully present and have all of your attention in the movements you're making, in the stillnesses, in the words you recite, in the pauses, throughout the whole thing. Without presence, it's not a spiritual practice. That's why the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, one of the companions was praying, and he ended his prayer, and he's about to walk out the mosque, and the Prophet said, "Stop, go back, do the prayer again. You haven't prayed." And he does it again, and he says, "Nope, do it again." And after a while, he does it, and the Prophet ﷺ says, "Now you've prayed." And similarly, there's a hadith where the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, says, some people pray and only half their prayer is accepted. For some, a quarter. For some, an eighth. For some, a 16th. And for some, less than that. And what I understand by that is, it's the extent to which you were present, your mind was fully focused in the prayer. That's what counts in the end. And that's what makes it a spiritual practice. And that's what turns you into a spiritual soldier. I want you to think of prayer as literally being your Jedi training, right? Some people have Tai Chi, some people do yoga. You do prayer, you do salah. And when you look at it that way, all of a sudden it changes your relationship to it again. See, each of these little frames I'm giving you in these videos might just change the way you think about and relate with, and therefore do the prayer. If it's your spiritual practice, who doesn't want to be a good spiritual practitioner of their art, right? So aim that this is your spiritual practice, and you're going to aim to master it over time. Now, if you want to have a dramatic increase in your level of connection with Allah, become your best, most present, most joyful self, and be able to give a lot more love to your family and friends and those around you, go check out the Switch Masterclass at mamoonyusuf.com/switch. Also, by going to that website, you'll be able to watch the masterclass and then you can get a one-on-one coaching session with me personally. Also, if you want the next daily spiritual download to increase the quality and quantity of your prayers, check it out right over there. Until next time, may the peace, love, and blessings of Allah be with you always.